All right, hey there. Welcome, everybody. I'm Christopher Inks with Texas West Capital. It's a few minutes after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here on Tuesday, the 17th of May, 2022. It's a pretty nice day here in Bernie, Texas. It's going to get hot, though, man. I don't know. I think summer in Texas is about to get hot once again. We're having a little bit earlier, 100-degree heat than we normally do. So, yeah, we'll see how this summer turns out. How are y'all doing? Hopefully you guys are doing well. Man, we got a lot going on. We still got people. Guys, listen, man, I don't know how many times I got to say this. If you don't have an education in a certain subject matter, stop stomping around online like you know what you're talking about. It's embarrassing for you. I mean, you may not feel embarrassed. Again, it's this idea that, how's that old quote go? I don't know the word is idiots, but the uneducated are really sure of their, of what they believe, of their opinions, whereas the more educated are, not quite so much. They're always questioning. And God, man, you can see it nowhere greater than online. You see so many people that have absolutely no clue what they're talking about out there spouting, these sound bites that they've heard over time without a clue of what they're talking about or what they're saying or how it does or really doesn't even relate to what they think they're talking about. It's ridiculous. And I say this because, again, this morning, it comes in waves. The people come in about hyperinflation, and they call me the idiot, right? The dollar continues to rally. It continues to gain its strength. Dollar liquidity is shrinking up. It's facing its tightest liquidity squeeze since 2008, folks. Since right before the great financial crisis. And people are talking about hyperinflation. Stop already. You're clueless. Man, and I don't like to be rude, guys. I really don't. But sometimes, man, when you come off acting like a jerk, sometimes it's hard not to just say, you know what? You're being a jerk. You're an idiot. You're acting like a fool. Stop trying to talk about something you obviously have no clue about. Because of the things you're saying, when you can't even pay attention to dollar liquidity. How can you have hyperinflation if you don't have enough dollars? Seriously, folks. You can't have hyperinflation if your demand for dollars is coming up. And on top of that, we've got these huge interest rates coming, these interest rate hikes coming from the Fed, right? And they're set to normalize their books. So any liquidity that's left in the banks is going to get sopped up by that quantitative tightening. Where is your hyperinflation? God, it's frustrating, guys. It can be so frustrating. Because there isn't enough time to help people understand. There isn't, especially on Twitter, You're limited how many characters you can use. But what's worse is people come up and they don't care to be corrected. They don't care to learn. They just want to step up and act like they know something that they don't. It's silliness, guys. But if you notice, this happens in life, right? And maybe you've done it yourself. I know I did way back in the day, guys, right? I used to think that I knew more than I did, right? I've been through a lot of education since then. And the cool thing about the more education you get is the more those with very little education tend to think that everything is real black and white and that they know what's going on, right? But the thing is, the more education you get, the more your mind is opened up to understanding that you know less. So the higher you go up in education, the more you may know about a specific subject matter, that little tiny sliver, but the more you realize that you don't know about the world around you. And the smarter you get, the more you realize, the less you know. Or at least that's the way it should work. So I always kind of just tell you guys, don't get into it. Don't get caught up in that. Because you know what? What you put online is never gone. It will always and forever be there. Unless every computer in the world is wiped out somehow, right? So anything that you say, no matter how silly it may seem, is stuck there forever. Somebody will forever be able to find that and point to you and say, hey, look at you. So try to think twice. Carpenters, man, they have this saying, right? Measure twice, cut once. I think it's the same thing for when you're going to say something out loud. Not just online, but anywhere, guys. About anything. Think twice before you speak, Anyway, Anyway, so we've got that going on. The dollar, has the dollar topped out and if it has, it's just for a little bit, guys. We should still have further to go with the dollar here. And we'll get into that. Not only are we going to look at the chart, but we'll talk about some fundamental stuff, what's going on with the EU and that area over there. And because, basically the euro is the big potential stop to the dollar rally, right? But there's a lot going on there that I don't think is going to help it a whole lot. Excuse me. What else do we have? We have Bitcoin. Has Bitcoin found a bottom? We're going to talk about that today. And if not, where it might be headed. I've seen some pretty bad analysis. I saw somebody, I won't put out names here, but I saw somebody's analysis recently, and they've got a pretty big channel. And they did a 5 up, 3 back. I guess they did a 3 back. But then they did a 3 rally. So they have an ABC going to the all-time high from the 28.8 low, and then 5 down. Which they got 5 down going to something like 3,000 or something. Guys, that's, if you're even thinking of flat, which they didn't have enough information on to really show what they were thinking. But if that's what you were, no, that's way too far down to be a flat. You're not gonna move down from 70,000 to 3,000. It does not have the look. A big part of Elliott wave is the look, right, where things look like they belong. That doesn't work. And besides that, that would take, that would have to be like a wave 4, right? And that would pull wave 4 down there potentially below wave 2. But even if it pulls it into wave 2, that means you've got a diagonal, right? You're not going to have a diagonal with wave 1 go up to 13 or whatever, and wave 2 coming back to the 3,000s there, and then wave 3 going up to 70,000, and wave 4 pulling back to just above wave 2. It's not going to happen, guys. It doesn't make any sense. So be careful who you're following out there. Just because they got a large following doesn't mean they actually know what they're doing, guys, okay? Some people are just really good marketers. I'm a terrible marketer. I'm terrible at marketing. I don't care to. I put my information out there, and I think, you know what? If you're smart enough to pay attention and really listen, you're going to know what's up. If you're not, you're going to move on. If you move on, I'm okay with that. We don't need that, right? Anyway, so let me see here. Who's here already? Silvio, what's up, man? Claudio's here. Dominicus, what's going on, man? Glad to have you here. Abdel, good morning, sir. Sarang is here. Let's see, who else is? Data's here. Blaze, what's up, buddy? Mark is here. You doing well in the Netherlands, my friend? Good to have you checking in. TV Canal's here. Gavin is here. Says jerks are us. Sometimes it feels like that, man. I apologize, guys. A little bit of a rant there at the beginning, but man, that rant really just comes from frustration, because if you think the way that they're thinking, you're going to lose money that you shouldn't be losing. You're losing money that you should not be losing. It doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? You have this view of the world that is not correct. And it just makes life much more difficult. And there's nothing I can do really to change that. That's the problem. That's my frustration. I want to be able to see the things that they're not seeing. But you can give people all the information in the world, guys. And most people will not care to look at it. They'll not care to take the time. Because it takes time and effort to understand macroeconomics and global finance. It takes a lot of time. And even those who take a lot of time are still often wrong, guys. There's so many moving parts. I tell you this all the time. The way that I view it, is 25 years of constantly learning more and more and more about even the things I don't want to like, modern monetary theory, all this stuff, just understanding how they work. It's not easy, guys. And economics itself is not really easy. So most people don't want to put the time in it. But even those that do, again, especially if they're coming from a more structured educational background, colleges and whatnot. Even that is going to be, the way in which economics is taught is usually based upon the way in which that professor believes it to be. So you're still being influenced by somebody else's view of it. And their view may not be correct, right? A lot of economics that are today are based on econometrics. I'm not a huge fan of econometrics. Econometrics should give you the ability to create policy and forecast and basically be wrong all the time, right? The big joke is the economists are always behind. It's always, oh, our economists didn't see this coming. Were they not paying attention? No, it's just that they saw things a different way. So yeah, but even that, guys, it's worked well for me, at this point. You guys have seen, right? So, I've got a lot of the bigger stuff correct. It still gets some things wrong, though, right? But that doesn't mean the way that I see it is 100% correct either. But there are things that tend to stick out. Again, if you're talking about hyperinflation, you're not going to get hyperinflation if your dollar demand continues to rally in relation with it. Just saying hyperinflation because the Fed printed so many dollars totally ignores everything that actually happens. Remember, the bank level is where real dollar creation happens. The Fed can print everything it wants, but if it does not exit through the banks, it just sits there. It doesn't have any influence on the economy, right? And if something exits the banks and comes back and sits in the banks or goes back and pay off debt, these things are destroying dollars or otherwise making them not available to go after those things. So you don't get that hyperinflation, right? Yeah. Anyway, so much to that, guys. Let me see here. What's up, Alan? Good to see you. Mark is here. Relax, he says. Just in time. What's up? He said, I finally caved and got a Twitter account. It's possibly one of the worst places on earth. Social media is a cesspool in general, guys. There are some good things in there. There are some great people to follow and whatever it is that you're looking for. But yeah, generally it's a bunch of people who should be working more on their own lives and doing the things they need to make their lives better and happier for themselves. But instead they go out there and they just, do stupid stuff online because they don't want to put in the effort for themselves. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Andrew Bennett, what's up, man? Claudius says those with little education usually tend to get aggressive when you don't agree with them. They do. I'm always ready to hear other opinions and whatnot. And, because I'm never, again, guys, I'm just a human being. And even though I've been doing this a long time, I could still miss things, right? So I'm always, interested to hear what somebody else's opinion is. It doesn't mean that I'm going to take it, but if there's a good case to be made there, maybe for either something that I missed, and that's definitely possible, or just as maybe said in a way that I didn't think, right? Because we tend, even me, guys, I'm susceptible to bias as well, right? And sometimes that clouds the way that we view something, the way we think about it. So if somebody's got something, says something in a different way, it may have been something I didn't think, was correct, really, or that I really felt was likely, but said in a different way, it may be like, oh, okay, yeah, may click. So, I'm never upset at anybody having a different opinion. I'm upset when people get in, they act like jerks. That's what, is just frustrating. It's like, if people don't know how to discuss anymore, people just want to get up there and be idiots. And if somebody doesn't take their, the way they believe is truth, they want to be all rude and, disgusting toward them. And so, it's part of what I do. It's part of what I have to deal with. But, I'm human. Sometimes it gets to me a little bit, frustrating a bit, right? Because there's nothing. And I guess the more frustrating thing is because other people that think the same way are going to come in and nobody's going to listen and they're going to think they're right. And it's not because they think they're right and I'm wrong. It's just because they're not listening. They're not opening their ears. They're literally saying things that have nothing to do with what they're trying to say. And it's just frustrating because I like to discuss. I like to go back and forth, right? But it's not conducive to that, really. Let me see here. 83 man, what's up, man? Jack, he says, I have my law degree and I'm 58. Unfortunately, I know nothing. I hear you, my man. I went and got my law degree, not so I could be a lawyer, but just so I could understand better how the whole legal system works. My big educational background is all kind of put around this understanding of how people come together, how they act in groups, how groups lead to social systems and governments, and how those result in laws and how those things become. So that's really anybody just looks at my background and go, man, that's so crazy. It's everything, right? But if you really look at it, it all leads to, it's all this understanding of individuals and how individuals become groups and groups become societies and they become social structures and religious systems and legal systems and how things continue to go from there. Yeah, it's really just an understanding of people. So yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Let's see here. Crypto Critical, what's up, man? Who else is here? Leo, what's up? 51 ETH is here. Chance, good to see you, man. He says, Bitcoin 4 hour, are we in wave 4 triangle? We'll talk about that, man. We'll talk, sure. Let me see here. Dex, what's up? Michael Williams is here. 83, man, what's up? He says, win moon, Chris. Bitcoin 2,000, 200,000. We'll see. We'll see, man. There's some possibilities here, but, we'll talk about that right here in a minute here, okay? There is another Chris here. What's going on? Nice name. Diego's here. Good to see you guys. All right, so here's the thing, guys. I put something on Twitter last week. I said, listen, I've never done this before. But, I thought, well, Friday the 13th thing, maybe we do like $13, get you 7 days of access to Tier 3, which is usually $199 a month. So, even if you have no intention of continuing on with it, you could get in and just snag you as much alpha, as much education as you possibly want. We've got well over 200. I know it says 80 hours. I still haven't changed this around because we're moving to that other new site, trying to get it all back in there. But well over 200 hours of video education on there, guys. 3 weekly live streams. Talk about one on Mondays does Wyckoff. On Thursdays does Elliott Wave. Excuse me, sorry. Does Elliott Wave. Excuse me, geez, oh whiz. I do apologize. And then on Wednesdays, we do tips, tricks, and techniques, guys, where we kind of teach you rules-based systems and strategies that as long as you follow the rules, you can do it, even without any experience trading at all. Kind of get people in there before they, really learn the deeper systems and strategies and whatnot. So we've got all that and so much other stuff on there. So anyway, I'm going to release that today sometime. So be watching Twitter, or if you're on our free Discord side there, I'll post it there as well. And our other social media, Facebook and all those other things. We'll post the link on there, but we'll do that. Now, here's the thing, guys. When we do that, excuse me. So after 7 days, it'll auto-renew to the to a full month, okay? Jeez, oh whiz. I'm dying here, guys. Sorry. I hope this doesn't keep up, guys. I'm sorry. The allergies are just right there causing me to choke. Because it makes your throat real dry, and then your throat kind of sticks to itself. Oh, it's an awful feeling. Anyway, so what I was going to say was, you should receive a notice about 3 days before that 7-day trial expires, that 7-day test drive expires. And so what you would need to do is just, if you have no intention of continuing on, it's perfectly fine. You just log into your account and you'll click on the, you'll go to your subscription there and you'll turn the auto renew off. Don't hit cancel. If you hit cancel, it cancels your account, guys. It cancels your subscription, okay? That's what it does, effective immediately. Turn off the auto renew, okay? That's all you got to do. And then, once the 7 days is up and your access is gone, you can go ahead and cancel at that point and not worry about it knocking you off there, okay? By the way, when you do sign up, there is one thing. We keep some stuff on the site and a lot of stuff on Discord. If you want access to those Tier 3 channels, when you log into your homepage there, you're going to have a link list here on the left. At the top, it's going to say something like update your username or whatever. So what you're going to want to do is in Discord, let me see here. Let me show you this real quick. So in Discord here, right? So you got Discord here. Down here at the bottom, let me see if we can see this here. There we go. So if you just go right here, it says click to copy username. Just click that because it'll give you your username plus this little pound sign and 4-digit descriptor. You need all that. So just click on that to copy it and then just paste it in the box and hit update, and the bot will give you access, guys. Until you do that, you won't have access though. Okay? So that's the only thing you got to do is once you join, you just go right here to join us. Go to Tier 3, whatever. Like I said, it'll be later today. I'll let you guys know when that's available. And and do that, and then just log into your account. By the way, it'll send you an email too. Make sure you verify the email, guys. It's just stuff we have to do for, you know, all these countries and their regulations and whatnot. So it'll send you a verification email. Click on that, log into your account, put your username right in there, click it, you're good to go. Go back into Discord, you'll get all those tier 3 channels, okay? So yeah, so we've got that going on there. Just wanted to give you that. By the way, guys, the only other thing that I've got for you, don't forget, and this actually ends today, okay? Or tomorrow or something. It's coming up here pretty quick. So let me go ahead and get this link for you. This is, let's see, there's a link. All right. So this is this Elliott Wave International. It's $9. You're going to get access to 50 plus global markets, stocks, FX, cryptos, bonds, gold thing. You know, this will probably be one of the best $9 you guys ever spend, because it's so much information and so much in there that you can get an understanding for, not just locally but globally. And so, you know, if you've got $9 laying around, I would think it'd probably be a pretty good thing to get into. But other than that, like I said, we'll have our thing going on as well for $13 for 7 days. Man. All right. Let's go ahead and get on this, guys. All righty, right. Well, let's do this. Let's look at the big picture first, right? Let's look at this, man. How beautiful is this chart, right? How beautiful is this chart? I mean, look at this, guys. We've got this great channel here, right? 4 perfect touches. Now, I'm not a fan usually of a first touch at the top, but in this case, it's just so perfect. You know, usually if we're rallying, I look for a touch here, touch here, touch here, okay? We've got that, but even the top here, it's just so aligned perfectly there. That EQ works real good here as support, resistance, support right there, resistance, support, support, right? Absolutely gorgeous. Comes down here. So we get this dip here, and we rally right the heck back up, right? It's right below that S1 pivot. Remember, that's the one thing we talked about. I continue to say that until we get above this weekly pivot, there's a good chance we're going to test that S1 pivot, right? And that's what we did. And actually, as it got closer, I told Discord, I said the 4-hour S3 pivot would be the target right beyond that. And that's almost exactly where it hit. So we've got this, right? This great move up. We create a potential, we've got this potential descending wedge here. This breakdown below and rally back up is a potentially a throw under here. So we should see price rally back up here if that's what it is. The other way to look at this drop down below and close back up below this swing low over here, this is usually considered a bullish SFP, swing failure pattern. If it is, then again, we should see price rallying at least to the top of the range, but most likely because of the structure and whatnot, we'll break out and head higher, right? Let's see, 200-week EMA right here, for those of you into that thing. As you can see, we've always kind of popped down below it and then back up, right? Right here, again, you know, all the way through. The only time we didn't was that 2018, the end of the 2018 bear market, where we went kind of sideways here before we rallied back up, broke out. So, a lot suggesting there that would be the bottom or potentially nearly so. If we get a breakdown below the swing low, we're going to look at 22, we're going to look at 20. That kind of range, right? So, I give you the targets of 22 and 20. The idea being that everybody's looking at 20. 22's got some 21 and some change, 22 around that area. Has some support there, and we could see 20 get front run because everybody's waiting for 20, waiting for it. So we're kind of looking at 20 to 22 area if we break down to a new low. But there's no guarantee we're going to, right? Other things we're looking at. Weekly RSI wedge here. Look for a rally up off there. You can see that we've got this bottoming out here on oversold on Stochh RSI. You can also notice this huge thing. Now everybody's like, oh yeah, there hasn't been capitulation. I don't know what you call this, guys. That's a capitulation candle right there. Left with a large lower wick. Now again, it doesn't guarantee that price is going to reverse, But this candle, especially with this support, the 200 weekly EMA, the weekly S1 pivot, all these kind of things, heck, the ascending channel, support there. I mean, it means that you should at least be paying attention that it might, right? I don't see that you look at this and go, oh, it's definitely going down further. That makes no sense to me. That I don't know that you should call that trading, guys, if that's what you think. Trading does not mean ignoring the possibilities that could happen, especially when it's so significant as this. If the weekly S1 pivot wasn't here, if the 200 weekly EMA wasn't here, if this ascending channel support wasn't here, I mean, if all those things weren't there, well, okay, sure, we could see it, probably a lot more confidence in maybe it going lower, right? But it doesn't, with all that there, you've got to give deference to the idea that the bottom may be in until it proves it's not, right? Because if you're ignoring this and you're still looking down here or further down, which it could still go, guys. I keep telling you, there's no guarantee that it's not. But you got to look at the environment. You've got to look at the situation, right? A lot of things I've pointed out here, so maybe will. Here's the other thing, guys. Look at this. Look at how the volume just kind of stays all down here, right? All throughout here. On this right here, volume basically stays level. And then it drops off, and then it only rallies finally on, or, the volume only rallies on the breakdown here. If this is distribution, we should see much more aggressive selling coming down here. There's a purpose, right? The purpose is to send it down. So, again, that to me is really suspect on this being distribution. We don't have any real volume confirmation on it. Now, again, I can't guarantee that it's not going to go down further or that this isn't wave 5. We've talked about the possibility this could be wave 5, right? If we move this 3 back over here and kind of take this to the previous count where we've got a 3 and a 4 and maybe 5 here, it could still be the top. The thing I've told you since we've made that is until it breaks out above it, it's possible that it could be that top, right? Now, it doesn't look anything like it's ever looked before, right? So 2 things on that. One is, it's always been this kind of strong rally up in the last final wave, and it's not this. If this is wave 5, it's not this time. So that should leave you a little suspect. But keeping that in mind, don't forget that past performance is indicative of future performance, right? So in other words, just because it's always been that way doesn't mean it has to always continue to be that way. But because that's the only way it's been leading up to this, right? It's always been this, right? It's always been this. It's always been this. It's always been this, right? Every time. So I think we should defer to that being the likely finish. Until it's not, right? Until it proves it's not. That's the way it should be, guys. So we're going to continue to look like what we may have coming up here further, right? So we'll see. We kind of zoom in locally here. Again, this could be an ending diagonal on 5 here to finish out wave 4. Oh, real quick here, guys. By the way, the other thing on this, the other possibility is maybe this is a WXY here. I kind of like that because the idea this is just an ABC theory of alternation. This would be a more prolonged sideways complex correction. W, X, Y. So from that perspective, I like that idea. But in either case, whether this would be 3 and that would be a WXY, or this is 3 and this is an ABC or WXY or whatever. Actually, I think it's probably be WXY here. ABC, ABC, ABC here. So let me go ahead and change it off here. As a matter of fact, while I'm thinking about it, I meant to do that already. But either way, if it breaks out through the top there, that'll signal, hey, that we're going up there. Things are good to go. There's one other way I'm potentially looking at this, okay? Let me see here. Yeah, we'll just do that. The other possibility is, let's see here, this right here, right? And this would suggest, hey, we've got a broadening triangle here, symmetrical triangle, right? A reverse symmetrical triangle, megaphone pattern. It all means the same thing. It's a rare pattern, right? But basically, every wave needs to be larger than the one before it on its side, right? So you get A, B is higher, C is lower than A, D is higher than B, E is lower than C. Okay? So this, I think this pattern would just piss people off. I think this would just really just tick the market off if it were to happen, okay? How could something like this play out? I think if you have to think in relation to what's going on with the dollar, if the dollar is topped out for wave 3, which is what if it's going to have a larger pullback, I think that's where we're at. We've still got wave 5 still to go, right? So I think, as wave 4 on the pullback is happening right now, or would be happening with the dollar, we would see this rally up here. And then as wave 5 of the dollar goes up, we're going to see wave E finish out, right? And then dollar's 5 waves up. It's got a much larger pullback coming. Guess what? Now we got our larger wave 5 happening. In terms of structure of Wyckoff here, you've got your whole little bit of distribution going up here. You've got your little bit of accumulation. So this becomes this reaccumulation. So you get your selling climax, automatic rally, secondary test. You get this thrust up. It comes down. You've got a ST in phase B, a spring here. You rally up a bit higher, and then you'll have a terminal shakeout probably. What's that going to look like? Something like that, guys. This was the Dow, remember? This was the same pattern I gave you for the Dow before it happened, right? So again, A, B, C is lower, D is higher. There's that collapse. And then that was that March 2020 right there. And then up for wave 5, right? So that would be the same thing that would happen, that I would expect something like this to happen maybe in here. And in that case, wave 5 has a target up here of around 150,000. Which, of course, it could rally higher, but just based off the size of this wave 4 here. So still a lot going on. This would only come, obviously, if we rallied up here and then we started breaking back down. Then I'd look at that. But it's just one of those possibilities that I think it behooves us to pay attention to, just in case, right? Just in case. Let me see here. Yeah, we'll see what happens with those counts, Devin. What's going on, man? Baltazar, what's up? He says the 200 weekly EMA works better than the 200 MA. Looks like Bitcoin responds to it better. Yeah, it does. Like I said, the only time it kind of held below it was at the bottom of the 2018 correction, right? In which case, then it just kind of stayed under there for a couple of months, and then broke out and took off higher. So yeah, it seems to work out pretty well. So we'll see what happens with it. XRP Bandit, what's up? Esteban, good to see you, man. Let me see here. Brian Riley, what's up? He says, I am short money. Chris wants to know, am I buying this? Bitcoin right now? Not at the moment. I want to see. I'm not sure. This is not very clean here for me. So here's what it is. If the bottom's in, then a breakout above wave 4 here on Coinbase at 32,185 and 90 cents is going to hint. It's going to be the first hint there that maybe wave 4 is complete. Okay? So that's what I want to see. I want to see 5 waves up and through this, right? So usually your first wave set will come near that swing high. So potentially that's been done here, right? We got a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something like that potentially, right? Let me see here. I'm not even sure if that works because of this right here. This wave. This would have to be like a wave 3. Unless we had it up a little bit higher there. Yeah, see, that's higher than 1. It's lower than 1 there. So maybe like this could be maybe like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here potentially. Like I said, it's real. The count is real iffy in this area. It's a lot of sideways. Right now, I'm kind of looking at this again as being A, B, And then initial C of 2 target here at about the 50% retracement, 28,215. Secondary target of the 61.8 in this larger, I think this is the daily. Yeah, this daily demand structure here in purple. Right there at the top of it would be the secondary target, and the daily EQ, daily demand structures EQ here at 78.6 at 26,532 would kind of be that third target if it keeps coming down. Now the other thought is this is actually 4 over here. Okay, so this is 3, 4. 3, 4, 5 gives us 3. This is 4, and we still have 5 to go. Okay, that's that lower low, maybe 22, maybe 20,000. And in that case, this would be 1, 2, and we'd be looking ahead lower, right? So if we check this out, we go, well, there's 1. There's 2 as a flat. That still gives us that wave 2 right there around the 78.6. But it's possible we could see it overextend down into this blue, this 1 hour demand structure here, this blue EQ area right here at around 25,793 or so. So we could potentially see this being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here. So it gives us 1, 2, and then break down with 3, 4, 5. So again, yeah, there's going to be a couple of different possibilities because we're just going sideways, guys. I mean, again, you can look at it basically from this area over here. This is really the top kind of this range, right? This is the resistance. Let's keep all this in check right now, right? Always look left, guys. Look at that. That right there is giving the sell pressure here. Now, the one thing I'm going to say is we weren't immediately rejected here. I mean, we pulled back, but then we pushed higher into it. That's something to watch. If we had just been rejected here and came down and made a lower high and continued down, well, then it's definitely looking a lot more like it's corrective, right? But the fact that we pushed up deeper into it, that should have you locally looking at maybe we might be, this might be the bottom down here. We might be rallying up higher, right? So, again, but the possibility could be that this is 4 and then we have 5 still coming down. The only thing that's going to guarantee that is a drop down through the swing low, obviously. Prior to that, you've got the targets I'm looking at. So I might trade something shorter term in here. I've traded a little bit shorter term on this way up. I'm not ready to say, oh yeah, that's definitely the bottom for sure. I need to see, minimally a breakout above wave 4 here. And then what you really need is a breakout above wave parentheses B up here at around 43,109.50. And then definitely a breakout above wave circle X up here at 48,240. Those are your major targets, guys. If you're getting through, wave 4 here, wave B there, wave X there, that's what you're looking to do. Along the way, we've got our shorter term targets. We'll see how this all plays out. But, we're just going sideways at the moment. So, again, could continue further down or could continue further up. We have to see how price reacts in here. So if we get this breakdown toward this area here and it breaks out above wave B here, so this is 5 waves down to whatever wave 2 ends up being here. Again, I'm looking at this area really at the moment. And then we break on out through this wave B. Well, that's going to add confidence to the idea this is a 1, 2. And we'll be looking for a breakout above wave 1 to give us wave 3 in progress up higher. But yeah, so that's kind of where we are. Again, if we continue to go down here in 5 waves, rather than 3, we do 5 down here. That says, okay, this is probably maybe like maybe a WXY, maybe an ABC. But nonetheless, just corrective here, and we're heading down lower. So that's what I'm looking for before I get overly excited about it. But again, guys, here's my thinking. We're so low down here that if this is the bottom of wave, this is wave 4 here, we've got so much higher to go. You're okay not buying the absolute bottom. You're okay. You've got a ton of time, a ton of upwards movement to go before you get it. Too many times traders come in and they think the game is all about getting the lowest and the highest prices, right? And the truth is, doing that is actually going to lose you money. It will lose you money day in and day out, okay? So yeah, you gotta be careful with that. All you have to do to be a successful trader is to identify the trend, get in on the trend, get out of the trend sometime before it ends. Don't ride it as far as you absolutely have to where you're white knuckling it and sweating profusely. It's silly. Identify the trend, get in the trend, ride the trend for a bit, get out before it's done, lock in your profits. Do that again and again and again. If you do that, the magic sauce, guys, the magic sauce is time and compounding. So if you can do that consistently, time and compounding are going to take care of you. They're going to get you where you want to go in terms of your capital account, in terms of your wealth. They're going to take you there. But it doesn't happen overnight. The more you try to make things happen overnight, the more likely you are to lose your money. The more impatient you are as a trader, the more likely you are to lose your money. And that's the hardest thing, because you come in and you want it yesterday, right? I remember. I was there. We want it yesterday. Isn't such a great thing, though, okay? Now, here's the other thought here, guys. Maybe, 1, 2, a short 2 around the 38.2 retracement. Maybe this is a leading diagonal for 1 here. Maybe this is ABC is 1, 2, ABC is 3, 4, ABC is 5, and then we get A, B, and working on C here, finishing out our WXY. And then we go and break out. So I'm thinking if we do, without breaking down below wave B, if we break back out above wave B here, this is wave B, I think there's a chance this might be like a 1-2 working itself up here. And 2 will be done over here. It just has a really short C here. So, again, I don't know what it is there, and if that bothers you, I'm sorry that it bothers you. But the reality of it is, we kind of watch what's going on here. We need confirmation, guys. We need, to break out through validation or invalidation levels. That's what it means to trade, which means patience. It means sitting on your heels a bit more. And it's a tough thing to do, especially if you're a new trader. I get that, man. Oh, man, do I get that. But it is what it is. If you don't do that, you're going to constantly be getting in way too early. And sometimes you're actually, a lot of times probably, you'll actually be right on the direction, but you've over-leveraged yourself. You've gone all in, all these things, and you end up getting liquidated. Or you get scared because you're losing so much because it's going against you before it goes the way you want it to go. Most traders, guys, they can get the overall direction correct. They just get in too early or too much leverage, too large a position, so that they end up getting kicked out before it really does go in that direction that they're thinking that it's going to go. So it's not for lack of not understanding which way it may go. Believe it or not, guys, most of y'all are going to be pretty good at that overall. Larger picture, right? It's just overloading your position when you get in there, always thinking you're hitting the bottom, you're getting the bottom, you're getting the bottom, you're getting the bottom or the top. And getting caught, right? So, yeah. Could wave 5 hit the same low as 3 to stay in that weekly channel you shown earlier? Could wave 5... Could wave 5... So, I don't know if you mean this wave 5 or this wave. When you draw it the way you did it, it's this wave 5 right here. If you drive it with the parentheses around it, then I know you're talking about this wave 5. So just a heads up, guys, if you want to talk about a count that I've got on here, just use the same notation I have here. If it's a circle, just like this is, let's say circle 4 right here, that would just be that right there. That denotes a circle, okay? If you're talking about that right there. Otherwise, just make sure you reference the exact one you're talking about. That way I can follow your question better. I think Andrew's talking about, though, could wave 5 hit here? Sure it could. Sure it could. Yeah. Again, if this is wave 4 right here, then generally we expect wave 5 to hit this, just right above this R4 pivot, right around 130,000. But if it does like it always does previously, then we'll probably rally up higher as that kind of goes parabolic, right? So then we start seeing something, God, I haven't drawn a parabola in so long. I don't even remember where the dang tool is. There we go. We could see something, like this, right? It just kind of continues up there, right? I mean, that's always possible. Sure. It depends on how much is in there and doing what. So what? So the foundation guard for Luna there, they've got like so little left. Remember, just recently I posted the Twitter link there, talking about how they were the second largest corporate holder of Bitcoin. Yeah, well, not no more, right? Trying to protect USDTC, USD. UST, that's it. The stable coin, right? Trying to protect that peg, which they lost and just died off. Oh, man, they spent basically everything they had. Something like 80,000 Bitcoin in that process. So, I mean, think about it. If this is that, right? I'm not sure how they did it. I mean, I'm sure they would have probably sold some of it over the counter and whatnot. But I mean, that's a lot to come in at one point. And so, again, if you need a reason why this could potentially be the bottom, you had that huge influx come in there. And again, not only was it was bought up pretty smartly here. Again, it rallied back up in here. This hammer type candle, almost a hammer here. Large lower wick. So, yeah, possibilities there. Let me see here. Oh, man, this guy right here. I got him. Just in time. Appreciate you, man. Let me know about that. God. It's been a while since we had these guys in here doing that stuff. Let me see here. Diego says, I try not to, but from the bottom up, I see a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then so far another 1, 2. Yeah, again, guys, the way I feel about that, while technically, something like that could play out, what I've found generally, and I believe Jeffrey Kennedy feels the same way as well. Jeffrey Kennedy is a great, great analyst, guys, and Elliott Wave technician. He's also CMT, I believe, as well. But he works over there at Elliott Wave International, and he does their educational stuff. But, I'm kind of feel the same way he does, which is, you get a 1, 2, 1, 2, okay, that's great. If you start getting beyond that, most often there's some other count going on. It's kind of like the way I like to look at truncations. Truncations, to me, are always the last possibility. If you think you have a truncation, you may, truncated fifth, you may, but you need to absolutely exhaust every other possibility before then. That's the way I feel about it, because they should be extremely, extremely rare. I see people drawing, wave 5 truncations consistently, and that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because they are very, very rare. So there's a certain look to it. If you're in tier 3, I went through this on one of our weekly Elliott Wave sessions. And so, I gave you the look and how it's supposed to be and what you're looking for a truncation. It's not just simply, wave 5, complete before wave 3. There's a certain look to it, a certain thing you're trying to get out of that makes it more likely than not. It may be possible. So, yeah, some stuff to look at there. Let me see here. Dave Jensen, what's going on, man? Let me see here. Yeah, again, still looks corrective here. Doesn't mean it can't fall. Now, again, I've talked about the idea that, okay, if this is wave 5, right, then we've got to get like 5 down, right, for wave A. I see people trying to force this into like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't make sense. Wave 3 is the shortest. Can't do it. And then I see them try to get up here, and they go, okay, well, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. So, again, with Elliott Wave, you want to find the look. It should look somewhat proportional. It doesn't always, but generally you want to try and find that more proportionate look to what's going on. So, this little tiny quick, 1, 2 here, and then this really, really large WXY here, and have a triangle in here, right? So WX is a triangle, and then Y up here to give you X, or ABC or whatever, give you X there. It's so significantly larger than that little 1, 2 there. I don't believe that really counts. So when I look at this, guys, I go, okay, well, to me, it looks like, right? So ABC is W, X, ABC is Y maybe, right? So W, X, and then A, B, C, or W, X, Y. I think I've got A, B, C here. Nonetheless, it looks like 3 waves down to W, 3 waves up to X. Of course, it's with the triangle there. And then A, B, C. So 3 waves down to Y. And so I'll be honest with you. Everything else aside, just taking everything else off there, the idea that that looks like 3 down, 3 up, and 3 down really screams to me that it may be very well complete or nearly so with that, right? Again, potentially this is, coming down here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe still to come down a little bit lower, right? But yeah, I mean, just that look there. I don't get 5 comfortably out of this. I don't. Now, if we look here at GBTC, remember, GBTC, Bitcoin's the underlying asset, right? So GBTC should be moving in line with Bitcoin, more or less, right? Doesn't mean it's got the exact same pattern, but the count should be the same, right? So 3 should be complete in here, 4 should be complete over here, and 5 should still be to come, right? So again, along with Bitcoin, we've got 3, we've got 4. Now this one ends over here in February or so of 19. Bitcoin, of course, spot ended over here in December of 18, right? We get the same 1, 2, and possibly the same. Oh well, this one would say 3 and then ABC, because guess what? Wave B does not break out above wave A, right? The possibility here, I think there's a possibility we can actually get a 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I'm not overly happy with this very small 2 and this very large 4. Let me see here. I drew this up a while ago. Let me make sure when I hit the low there that wave 3 is not the shortest. Yeah, no, see, this still has it above that. So, I mean, technically, maybe we could get this 5 down. Again, the other possibility is maybe we've got a WXY, the same way I said that this could potentially be a WXY, right? Let's see here. So in either case, again, 3 up here. 3 can't be here because this is shorter, right? So you can have a 3 here. You have a 4 here. And in either case, they both end potentially here with 4. We got 5 up, right? Now, if this happens, it makes it kind of hard to figure that Bitcoin's going to get that expanded symmetrical triangle. I'm not sure exactly how this would have to fit in with that. But, they could both definitely be down at 4 there and head up. You notice 50% pullback, solid wave 4, right? Initial wave 4 target is 38.2. Second is 50%, right? So, just some things. By the way, you notice it stops just prior to wave 1 here. You see how it stops just there? Does not break into wave 1, so definitely possible to be wave 4. So just some kind of things we're looking at when we're trying to compare, these other products where Bitcoin is the underlying asset, and of course Bitcoin itself and what we're doing there. Let me see here. At Bitcoin, assuming it is a WXY correction, shouldn't Y also be the same length to W? Guideline. There's a difference between guidelines and rules, guys. Rules absolutely must be followed when it comes to Elliott wave. The rules. The guidelines are basically, this is often where we look. So yeah, what we would normally do, let's say the WXY here, right? And so we're looking for it. Often we'll do this. We'll go, okay, well, there's W. There's X. And then, let me kind of flip this around here. It's such a big move. Big log scale. There we go. And so we're almost at that one. It's right there, 23,192. Right? So yeah, we'll often look for wave C to equal wave A or wave Y to equal wave W. Sure. A lot of times it doesn't actually do that, or it moves beyond it. But it just gives us a general idea of where to look. It's like wave 3, we generally look to reach the 1.618 extension of wave 1. Sometimes it doesn't quite make it there. Most of the time it gets there, or it goes higher, right? It overextends, right? And so these are guidelines, not necessarily rules. So just something to keep in mind about that. But yeah, definitely something to watch there as well. And again, that would just get us down there, potentially toward that 22 area if it were to do that. Sure. When looking at the wedge and RSI, let me look back up here on this weekly. Oh, it's this one right here. Let me see here. In looking at the wedge here with the wedge here, would the breakout on the RSI wedge indicate to you the breakout on the chart? Yeah. Normally, those of you that have been through the foundations courses that we offer, I talk about structures and whatnot on RSI. And yeah, often, this is kind of a little bit off here. But yeah, when you have a situation like this where they're the same here, usually the breakout through the RSI happens at the same time you get the breakout of price action. Yeah, usually that's what's going on there. Let's see here. All right, you know what? TV Canal, I've had enough of the nonsense. You keep acting like a jerk. You've been blocked. Sorry, guys. Weeks, months now I've been dealing with this. I'm tired of it. If you're going to come in here and try and make fun of somebody, I don't care if it's me or somebody else, and just get lost. Because I'm going to get rid of you. World's too damn full of nonsense and rudeness and pain and hatefulness for you to contribute to it. Not on my time. All right? I'm not going to put up with the nonsense anymore. Jesus. Freaking A. Everybody acts like they're 3 years old. I swear to God. As a father, my 11-year-old does not act like the way some of these people act online. 11 years old. He has more common sense and decency than these people do. Yeah. Let that sink in for a bit, right? So anyway, they're gone. Let's see here. So yeah. On the small trade that I made, what made me take it? Well, Chris, so one of the things I did, God, I don't remember. I think you joined us, didn't you, Chris? I think you joined us. So, if you did, let me see here. I can't remember I think you did. I don't remember if you were back here in time. But I was working through this count on the way up here, okay? With Discord, like all day long, kept posting updates saying, here's what we're looking at, as it adjusted and everything. And those are, because I followed that chart, that's where it was entering. So like if it was a wave 2 and we're going to wave 3, on the breakout above wave B of 2, I'd enter long and then exit, as we neared the wave 3 target. I never ride it all the way through because my count could be wrong or price could stop before, 1618 or whatever. But yeah. So, I don't buy the absolute bottoms. I don't sell the absolute tops. I just identify the trend, get in there, ride it, and then get out before it's done. So yeah. So that's kind of the way I did. So I did it a few times on this rally up through here originally. I haven't done anything in this area here. So yeah, no, not yet. Again, this is all just kind of sideways, and the count isn't very clean. I don't like, again, guys, I'm really risk adverse. I tend to take higher confidence trades. I don't enter just because there's a chance. So when the counts are really kind of muddied and muddled and not very clean, I usually tend to wait it out a bit, see what happens there before I jump in again. Yeah, I'm not in a hurry to necessarily get in and lose money. I don't like to lose money that I don't have to, Let me see here. BTC King, yeah, man. Hey, give me a minute. Let me run through some charts here that I normally run through, and then remind me here to look at that Sol USDT if I don't remember right off, okay? Let me see here. Let's go ahead and jump in here real quick, guys. What do we got? We got TLT. Let's see what TLT has done since the other day there. Let me see here. All right. So TLT. Looking at this as being a 3. Man, this looks like an ABC and done here. Now, it could be a W. ABC is an X, and we could get an ABCY up here to wave 4 for wave 4 here. That's what I'm kind of looking for. If we're breaking down below here, so say wave 4 is done. And we'll look down here around this daily S2 pivot. Maybe for wave 5 of C, maybe to finish up. If it does rally up here, though, yeah, maybe right here around 106.5 for that wave 5 target. There's always the possibility that the bottom could be in here, but with this looking like an ABC here, or, you know, it could be a flat. It could be 1, A, B, working on C here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it could be a flat and heading up there, or a leading diagonal. But just looking big picture-wise, if we can break out above the top here, I'll look for it to target this kind of area right here around the daily pivot. This wave circle 4 kind of swing high there. And then we'll look for a breakdown to continue down toward, you know, that 106.5. If we do break out above here, like in 5 waves, break out above that wave circle 4 in 5 waves, then we might potentially start looking at the idea that wave 5 is complete down here and we're heading back up. TLT, long-term government securities, you know, they tend to move depending on market risk, right? How the market perceives risk, the legacy markets. I've talked about it already, how the legacy still feels like there's still further upside. They think that basically we're at the beginnings, like 1920 to 1922 is what they're thinking. If you guys have looked at the old Dow Jones charts, heck, I've got one right here. They think, let me kind of zoom in the weekly here. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is the futures here. You know what? I'll do this right quick here. Oh, my gosh. Old school stuff here. Let's get rid of this. All right. All right. So this is what I want to show you. They think, much of retail, it seems, thinks that right now with where we're at, oh my gosh, is probably, yeah. They think it's this right here. You know, that we're going to do this. And I can't say that we're not, but I don't think that's it. I think we're probably closer to this here and coming down. You know, like maybe the top may be in, we're headed down. But that's what they're thinking. And so they're not very scared of the market. They're buying the dip still. They're trying to still get in. And so TLT then is going to reflect that, right? So there's still going to be not enough buying going on with TLT, right? When the market gets worried, though, when the market starts feeling this, TLT should start ramping up. Again, those are your long-term government securities. It's meant to protect your wealth, right? Rather than lose it as the market drops down, right? So, but this is kind of where people have been thinking we're at. You know, we're down here, going to do this big rally up. I don't think so. I think, you know, that we've got this further move down. Because, I mean, you know, if you think about it, guys, we've been a secular bull market for, what? We were in it for, what, 11 years? Coming off this time down here. 09 to 22, right? The average bull market, I think, is something like 4 or 5 years. So we're well over twice that. The odds that we continue higher, I don't think are significantly great. I mean, we still could, but until we start seeing some better reaction over here, you know, we head up. I think, you know, we're headed down. Again, looking at structure here, if you guys haven't looked at this, remember this right here? So this is reaccumulation. This is the leading into the dot-com bubble. This is the implosion in the bottom there. This is the leading into the great financial crisis. This is the implosion in the bottom down here. And so what you basically get is you get this thrust, you get this spring, and you get this rally up and out. And so, again, you know, and so when you come up here, you get to the point where this is your wave 4 up here, right? Potentially with your expanded flat, or not expanded flat, but expanded symmetrical triangle, and then wave 5 up here at the top. Until we get some further breakdown, I mean, anything could still happen, but right now it doesn't look very positive for what's going on up here. I mean, just looking at this off here, I mean, I think I've got it as a 1-2, 1-2 kind of thing. Yeah, I think I've got like a 1, A, B, C, 2 as a flat. and then coming down here. So when this breaks down good here, like the next time it comes and breaks down, I think if this is the top, that'll be wave 3 kicking in, and you should see a much harder move down, and that'll get people's attention. They'll start jumping in on that. You know, it's still possible you can maybe get an ABC count out of this, or almost this. So, you know, I can't say it's definitely topped out. Yeah, but we are below that weekly pivot now, trying to find support on the weekly S1. If we were to rally up and get rejected here and make a new low, just trading pivots, that usually indicates we're headed down the pivots, down through all 5. So, you know, that would get us down toward the swing low here. So, yeah. Let me see here. Hey, name Mr. Wilkes. Good to see you checking in, man. Had your haircut? Good job. Man, you know what? Here's the thing. You know, this is a great question, and a lot of new people in crypto, you know, always ask, you know, where's the best place to put my money? I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. The best place I think is Bitcoin. Just personally, I think it is because you know it's the granddaddy, it's the king, right? So the rest of the market, Bitcoin doesn't move because of the rest of the market. The rest of the market kind of takes its cues from Bitcoin, right? And so if Bitcoin's rallying, if Bitcoin's moving up, you know, rising tide lifts all ships, you can pretty much expect for just about everything to continue to rally with it, right? If Bitcoin's moving down, then you can pretty much expect just about everything to kind of come on down with it. I don't think you can necessarily go wrong with Ethereum. I think Ethereum's a good second hold. So for me, you know, if not Bitcoin, then Ethereum, or maybe Bitcoin and Ethereum. Because Ethereum, you got to understand, Ethereum is a separate thing, right? So Bitcoin is one type of way to approach cryptocurrencies. Ethereum is another other way, right? You know, where you got all the dApps on and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's a platform, right? Bitcoin isn't really a platform. Bitcoin's, I don't really want to say like money because it's so volatile. It doesn't really hold that role as money well. But you know, you use it a lot more for that type of thing. Whereas Ethereum you're using more as a platform for other things. So I don't think you go wrong in holding either. I think they're both good. Now, is Solana going to take out Ethereum? I don't. You know, guys, here's the thing. The one thing I've learned in my old age is that often people will try to come out and make better versions of old things, and rarely do they ever overtake those older things, right? It's possible something like Solana or something could come in and kind of take out Ethereum. I don't think anything is really close to doing it yet. So if you think like something like that may happen, then maybe you put a little bit into Solana or whatever. But you guys have to remember, especially when it comes to alts, think about Luna and what happened there, right? When you guys are thinking about staking, think about what happened with UST, right? You absolutely have to be mindful of your money in these markets. When you're offering these great, outrageous kind of APYs and whatnot, I mean, gosh, guys, yeah, it's hard to say no, but maybe you should, right? How many people had their life savings wiped out because they were in UST, right? Or even in Luna, right? And there's not a whole lot you can do about it. You're not going to get that money back. So first things first, your whole net worth should not be in crypto. I don't believe it for a second, guys. Stuff like this is still happening today, guys. That should be more than warning enough, okay? We had the warning by Coinbase recently. They said, hey, listen, if they go bankrupt, most likely you're going to be a secured creditor. You're not going to get you're going to get maybe pennies on the dollar for what you have on that exchange. Don't put yourself in that position. And it's not just Coinbase, guys. It's any exchange, right? Sure, you mitigate your risk a bit when you're using the bigger exchange and whatnot, but that doesn't, again, everything is great until it isn't anymore, right? And I think this is the one thing that most people want to ignore. They want to ignore the idea that things could go wrong. And as a trader or an investor, guys, you have to understand what could go wrong. And you have to be realistic with that likelihood, that possibility that it could. Especially in crypto, guys. don't put yourself in a situation where you get hurt necessarily, okay? But yeah, I mean, I think Bitcoin is by far the best place to put it. You know, yeah, your alts are going to move farther and harder, and you can potentially make more profits with it, right? And for most, you probably will, but it just takes one time to own Luna, right? Or UST, right? It just takes that one time, and it's all gone just like that, right? I think if cryptocurrencies were to die off, I think Bitcoin's the last to go. I think it holds up the best because it was the first thing. It is the granddad. It is what everybody knows. Everybody may not know Solana. Everybody may not even know Ethereum. But they know Bitcoin, right? Those that know crypto, right? So that's kind of my thought process on it, right? High Power Coach, what's up? Says, I'm scared to take it off the exchange. Scared I'll type in the address wrong or do something stupid and lose it. Man, I hear you on that. Even today, guys, I've made so many transfers with crypto, and I still am nervous as... Yeah, I bleeped myself there. About potentially typing in the wrong address or something. A lot of them now, a lot of wallets and exchange or whatever are now with the copy, and you just hit the copy button, and you can paste it in. I'm still nervous about it, though. I'm still nervous about it. If I have to type it in, man, I'll be looking over that thing like 4 or 5 times. And that's what, 70 characters? Okay, maybe not quite 70, but you guys get it. So yeah. So yeah, just some thought, right? Sheepdog says that's why they're a fan of Voyager. You can have your capital reserves in cash. It is a bank account that is FDI insured. Now, see, if that's the case, that's where you need to do it. I mean, in my opinion. Because again, guys, I'm very risk adverse. I'm not very risk tolerant. And so if I was to do that, I want to do it in something that, hey, you know, if it's FDIC insured, then you're protected up to $250,000, right? As a single person. As a joint account, you know, $500,000, right? So yeah, you know, I'd do it at least up to that amount. But you know, some of these other ones, it's not, and that's what happens, right? What just happened. So yeah. Yeah, you know, again, there's going to be times, don't get me wrong, guys, especially, you know, if Bitcoin's got a bullish market going, then it's okay to move, you know, at least some of yours into some decent projects, because pretty much everything is going to rally, right? Everybody's like, oh, look, fundamentals, that's why it's rallying. No, it's not rallying because of fundamentals, because you got some great team, or it's doing something novel and unique. It's rallying because Bitcoin's rallying. There's very little that actually rallies when Bitcoin drops, right? We had BNB back in coming into 2018, right? For the 2017 top coming down. So we had, you know, BNB rallying. We had Link from the 2019 June of 2019 drop. We had Link rallying on that, right? So there's always something. There's always an outlier. The same thing with stocks, same with everything. There always is. But in general, if Bitcoin's rallying, most alts are going to follow up with it. In general, if Bitcoin's falling, most alts are going to follow with it. So yeah. Let me see here. Let me kind of get through a couple of these here, guys. Let's see. We looked at the DXY. Let's see here. Oil. Let's take a look at oil real quick. All right, oil. Here we go. Man, starting to get some rejection here. Right around 114 or so. If it rallies, we could see it trying to target the channel resistance. Maybe hit that R2 pivot up there, 118.89 or so. Maybe even potentially get up here, 122. Hit this demand structure here. We just dropped right through it. Often when we do that, we'll come up and retest it before heading back down. But if this is an ascending wedge, an ending diagonal, this should most likely be the top. You see right here, it's finding support on that. Drop back down in here should accelerate the move down. We're looking for a breakdown through the H4 pivot here to kind of hint that that wave 2 may be complete, but we really need to see a breakdown below wave B over here. Support at 92.93 to say that it is. We can get that. Again, the idea is 1, 2, or here, or whatever, and then coming down. We've just got a flat correction here. So we're just rallying right up to where wave A is. Usually that's our initial target on a flat correction. So yeah. Let's see here. Natural gas. Looking for a possible move up here toward this 78.6 right here around the R1 pivot. Breaking back down again through... if we break out, head higher here, then we're going to look for a breakdown below this recent swing low here at 81.35, $8.135 right there, 13.5 cents. As the hint that wave 2 may be complete, a breakdown through the 1 hour pivot is going to be the first real clue that it is. Breaking down below wave B here at 72.55, 7.255. It's going to add confidence to the count and suggest that wave 3 is in progress lower. If we break out above this swing high up here at 89.96, 8.996, of course that's going to invalidate the count, and we'll look for then wave 5 to probably be in progress then on that. Let's see here. Silver. Let's see here. Potentially wave 2 complete here, but we've had this reset down into oversold on the R1, so it might still have further. It might try to get up here. 61.8 will get at the R1 pivot on the 1 hour, but that 70.5 will get at this high volume node right around 22.44. So I can see this range right here potentially being the target area if we continue to get this break up higher. Breakdown below 21.56 will hint that wave 2 is complete. Breaking down below the 1 hour pivot, it's going to be the first real clue. Breaking down below wave B support at 20.835 will add confidence to the count and suggest that wave 3 is in progress down lower. Gold. Gold. All right. We got a rejection, a nice rejection here at the pivot. We've dropped down below the weekly pivot. We are kind of resetting down and oversold here, but the 1 hour RSI is, for me, it's neutral. I get 45 to 55 as a neutral area. People, when they generally use it, they look at 50 at the zero line. Well, it's not the zero line, it's 50% here. Getting below that is bearish. So looking for a breakdown below 17.96 and 10 cents to add confidence to the count and suggest that wave 3 is still in progress. Minimum expected target is 17.2810. So we'll see if we need to adjust this count a little bit or something along the way here, but at least this target potentially lower on that. 16.6360 is that next target down lower there. Let me see here. Okay, Solana. We'll look at Solana here real quick. Well, I remember that. Now, here's the thing, guys. These other big cryptos like Solana, XRP, Tezos, Litecoin, all these kind of Ethereum, all these things. Again, they're kind of following along with Bitcoin. So generally, if Bitcoin is bottomed, they should be bottomed. If Bitcoin makes a dip lower, then they should generally be expected to maybe make a dip lower. By the way, looking at this real quick, let me show you something else here with the, let's look at this chart right here. Nope. Let's look at, I don't know, maybe we can see it right here. Let me do this down the daily here. This was the other big thing about this. Notice your volume coming in here as we came down. Notice the price action here, the candle spreads and their relation to the volume here. Long wick there. And so there's a lot to be said about potentially being the bottom here over these 4 candles leading into that low before it rallied back up. You can also see that the next day we had this wick up and then the pullback. And we've broken out above it now. We've got to get above this kind of wick area here. So 32,599 and 27 cents there on the BLX. If we can get above that, that should take us then up into this next area up here, which gets us close to the pivot. And of course, we break out through the pivot. Things are looking good. So I did want to mention this about this volume and price action and what's going on there. Suggests quite possibly there might be a bottom there as well. But again, we need to see follow through continuing higher. If this is a spring to this big range, this looks like the test of that spring. If it is, we've got, well, we still got a good bit of day left. We probably got about another 6 hours or 5.5 hours, something like 6.5 hours left, I guess. So this volume could increase a bit, but it's significantly lower than this volume here. So you make a higher low on significantly less volume, and that'll be a successful test of a spring. And so that's the other thing I'm watching as today plays out. And if that happens, then we should see the rest of it rally back up off that. So jumping back over here to Solana, again, same idea. We can look at these days here leading into this drop. We can look at all this volume, large candle spread, right? Again, if we hover over it, it tells us how large the candle spread is right here, right? The body of the candle. So right here, it's $16.20 right? On this big old spike of volume. The next one over, it's only $6.12. So you go from 16 down to 6. Yeah, over $10 smaller on that, right? Well, over half smaller. And just a little bit less volume. Big wick there. And the next day, we get less volume, and now we flipped to demand candles. So you could see how supply has flipped to demand over these 3 candles right here. Demand not needing much at all to start taking over and continue to rally up there. Until, again, we kind of hit this area right here. So you've got this supply block right here that you kind of need to get above, right? Kind of want to get above that area right there. So as I've got on here, if we pop out there above that swing high there at 74, that should hint that wave 2 is potentially complete at that point. Popping out above wave B here at 111, that's going to be your first real clue that it is. Wave circle X here at 143.5 is going to add confidence to the count and say, okay, wave 3 should be in progress higher. So yeah. So that's what I'm looking there. Black Horse, what's up, man? He says, I only put into crypto what I know I can lose. I know how much it costs to earn a living. Man, I'm glad you do that. So many people don't, guys. That is the way to do it. That's what you should be doing as you trade, right? Doesn't make sense to do anything else. Because anything can happen. Forget just not being a good trader or losing all that or whatever. The reality of it is something like Lunar or UST could happen, guys. Right? Happens all the time. Usually on much less noticeable cryptos, but nonetheless it does happen. Don't put yourself in a situation where you find yourself on the bad end of that, okay? Let me see here. Let's see here. Most have the copy feature now, Justin was saying. Yeah. And then you still send a test one? Yeah. Guys, I feel you, man. It is awful. Again, I got back into crypto in January of 2017, right? So my 2L year of law school. Graduated that December. Actually graduated early. But yeah, and I've been doing it that long, and I still, what is that, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 5 years now? Jesus freaking A, really? Anyway, and I'm still nervous. Even if I'm copying and pasting, I'm still nervous on it. It is what it is, man. Well, Zobia, what's up? Could I chart USDC against UST? Why would you do it against UST? UST is, for all intents and purposes, just about done, right? I mean, it's done, right? I don't know that there's a reason to do that. We'll take a look at it. But I think it's, for all intents and purposes, is pretty much done. It's DC versus UST. By the way, I didn't get involved in any of that Lunar or UST nonsense, trying to catch and make money on that. No, that's just not me, guys. Again, very risk tolerant or very risk adverse. So yeah, I don't. No. Yeah, it's still trading, but I don't know that you necessarily want to be in that with these moves. I don't know. God. I mean, this looks like ABC here. So we get a breakdown below that swing low there. I mean, well, below this one right here at 5.9086. I would suggest it's going down lower. Yeah, I think maybe we've got a leading diagonal right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ABC. 1. We might get a 2 here, a little bit higher high. 3, 4, 5 coming down. Yeah, I just wouldn't want to be in it. There's no telling when your exchange is gonna, delist it, and you're gonna get stuck with it and maybe not be able to sell it anywhere. Yeah, I mean, it looks like that's what's going on there. It looks like we get it down and then rally back up. It's just too. This looks like even a leading diagonal, maybe like a ABC is 1, 2, ABC is 3, 4, AB 2, 3, 4, C is 5. It's like 1, AB, C, 2. Continue going up. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a leading diagonal off here again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what it looks like. This looks like an A, a B. I'm working on C here again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe still coming down. So just be careful. I mean, you guys are going to need to do what you're going to do. That's fine. But I really just be careful with that. Don't put yourself in a situation where, here's the thing. We often talk about, only put in the money you're willing to lose, right? The corollary to that, the other part to that is, don't lose it if you don't have to, right? Don't put yourself in a situation where you shouldn't be. We often talk about proper risk management is the key to success, to being a successful trader over time, right? But it's not good enough just to have proper risk management if you're still taking trades that you shouldn't be taking, you're going to lose money that you shouldn't be losing. So the corollary to the idea that that risk management is the most important thing is that once you understand that and you're doing that, you need to be looking at higher confidence trades. You don't enter just because there's a chance. Don't take unnecessary risks. And if you're going to, don't take really big, don't take really large unnecessary risks. I mean, these are just, this is born out of a quarter of a century of doing this, guys. As long as you adhere to these ideas, you've got a chance to be really great, to do really well. But when you don't adhere to these things, I've found that you're more likely going to lose your money than not. And, again, even if you're using proper risk management, you're still losing money. You still have to make that money back before you can make a profit. So it's still extra work that you have to do because you took one just because there was a chance. See what I'm saying? Hope that makes sense, guys. Yeah. So just some thoughts on on that. Okay, guys. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm over my time. I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you all trade safe. I talk about it sometimes. I always post it for our members, but at the end of the day, who you are as a person is worth more than what you have in your bank account. Okay? So if you get a chance to do something kind for somebody else, do it. And do it with joy in your heart when you do it. Don't do it because you feel like you have to. Do it because you should, right? And sometimes it's as simple as listening to somebody. Sometimes it's simple as, instead of looking down at your phone all day, look up when you're walking down the street and smile at a stranger. It really is, guys. You don't know what people are going through, especially, in the last couple of years. And sometimes, they can feel like all hope is lost. And just a smile from you just could change their whole view. It happens, guys. It really does. So, I know it's kind of cheesy, but be the change you want to see in the world, right? Be that kindness that you wish other people would be. that you wish other people would show you. Be an example. Don't let the rest of the world get you down, okay? Remember, the only thing you control in the market is how much you lose. So please keep working on that risk management. You guys are fantastic. I really appreciate you checking in. Man, oh man. Like I said, I'm going to do the $13 for 7 days sometime today. So be watching Twitter or our other, Facebook, the other accounts we have, Instagram. If I can get it. Instagram's such a pain in the rear end to try and post on. Hopefully the sizing will fit right. Or, again, just join us at our Discord there. Let me get you that link real quick, guys, just in case you may not have Twitter or something like that. You can join with this link right here I'm about to post for you. Boom, there it is right there. I'll even type it right here. So if anybody is still hanging around and seeing this, can't even do it. They can kind of see what we got going on here. And then, again, I'll post it on in the announcements channel. Just remember the things I told you at the beginning. If you're only planning on doing it for the 7 days, that's fine. That's why it's there, guys. If you like us, you stick around, great. We'd love to have you. But if not, if you just want to do it for the 7 days, it will auto-renew at the end of the 7 days. You'll get an email notice 3 days before that. But don't hit cancel in your account. They will cancel you immediately. Just turn off the auto-renew. If you have a question about where to find it, if you go into your account and you can't find it under your subscriptions, just send us a DM or ask in one of the channels, and Adam or I will be glad to help you. And then that way you just turn off the auto-renew. That way it doesn't auto-renew you. And then when it's done and your access is gone, you can just go in and hit cancel, and then you're fine, okay? But yeah, other than that, just add your Discord username on your homepage there where it says update username at the top of the left-hand links list when you log in to the website. You click on that, it'll open a new page. There'll be an input box like this. You have to put in your name, #, the 4-digit descriptor, again, on Discord here. Let me see if I can get it here. Yeah. All you have to do is just right here at the bottom, see it says click to copy username. Just click that. It'll give you your username and your # and 4-digit descriptor. And then you just paste it right in there. Makes it easy. And then, man, take advantage of it, guys. Well over 200 hours of video education in there. You're going to be able to find, whether it's Wyckoff or Elliott Wave that you want to get better at, you want to learn what's, the full truths, not half-truths or outright lies. We've got that in there. If you just want to learn a few techniques, a few strategies, rules-based strategies, man, we've been doing them almost every week now for getting on to about 2 years. And we've got all the archives in there that you can get to, okay? As well as our foundation videos. That's about 11 or 12 hours that you can access as well. So we'd love to see you there. Just look for that. And when that happens, sign on up, guys, and join us. We'd love to have you there, okay? All right, guys, I am out of here. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. And I will see y'all on Friday. Or if you're in Discord, I'll see you guys there. Take care.